Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a concept that, well, it gets tossed around a lot, doesn't it? User stories. Sometimes people think they get it, other times it's just dismissed as, another layer of management overhead.
Right, just more process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that user stories, far from being an extra burden, can actually genuinely streamline your whole process and maybe even transform how teams approach their work?
It's a pretty fundamental shift, yeah.
Think about it. Imagine you're leading a team, maybe building something really complex, like an AI-powered diagnostic tool for healthcare.
Okay, yeah. Lots of unknowns there.
Right. Medical knowledge evolves, AI capabilities change constantly. How do you even plan features in that environment?
That's the challenge.
So that's what we're diving into today, why this move to user stories can be, well, game-changing, how it really applies to advanced stuff like AI, and crucially, how you can avoid the common traps teams fall into when they start using them.
Sounds good. And to really get that, I think we need a bit of context. Where did we come from?
The before times.
Yeah. The traditional approach, often tied to project management and the waterfall model, that sequential thing. Requirements, then design, then build.
Step by step. Very linear.
Exactly. The norm was trying to capture all the requirements up front, meticulously, figure out every detail, get the full design signed off, and then start implementing.
And that made sense back then.
It absolutely did. For certain kinds of work, if you were building a bridge or maybe a very predictable software system, that certainty was possible. You could plan budgets, timelines, execute with what felt like low risk.
Yeah, that desire to know everything up front, to have the complete blueprint before laying a single brick almost, that was the project management ideal. It felt safe, controlled.
It did. But as you said, the world's changed, especially with tech, with AI. The pace is just...
Blistering, yeah.
It really is. And that old comfort, it now comes with a massive opportunity cost.
Explain that. What's the real cost?
Well, it's not just missing a market window, though that happens. It's the lost learning. Every week you spend detailing specs perfectly is a week you're not getting feedback, not discovering what users really need, not iterating.
So by the time your perfect plan is ready,
The market's moved on, or the opportunity's vanished. The need now, especially in product and service management, is to be way more nimble,
respond faster.
much faster, get something valuable to customers quickly, let them benefit, let us learn, not wait for the perfect, complete thing 6 months down the line. Especially with AI, where you have to experiment. Trying to map it all out up front. It's just not feasible.
And think about the meetings in that old model.
Oh, the status meetings. Dreaded.
Right. Everyone goes around. Are we on track with the plan? Check, check, check.
Yeah.
No wonder people felt like meetings were just, consuming time, keeping them from actually getting some work done.
Yeah, the meeting fatigue is real in that world.
I remember a project. We spent months planning this one feature meticulously. Then boom, market shifted right before we built it. All that planning.
Poof. Gone. Wasted effort.
Exactly. User stories help avoid that kind of massive sunk cost.
That's precisely where Agile comes in. It's the answer for product and service management in this fast-paced, uncertain world.
Okay, but let's be clear. Agile doesn't mean no requirements or no design, right?
Absolutely not. That's a common misconception. Requirements and design are still crucial. The difference is when and how you figure them out.
So not all up front.
Right. They're figured out more as you're doing the implementation, or maybe more accurately, just in time, right before you build that piece, as close as possible to the actual work.
Why? What's the benefit of waiting?
Because you're working with the latest information, the most current understanding of the need, the market, the tech. It massively reduces the risk of building something nobody wants or that's already obsolete.
Okay, that makes sense for agility. But what about risk? The project management folks would say planning reduces risk. How does this emergent approach handle that? Budgets, timelines.
That's a really important question. Agile addresses this with short iterations.
Sprints, cycles, whatever you call them.
Exactly. Typically a week or two. Each iteration is a focused step. And before you start one, the team gets really clear on what are we going to do in this iteration and how are we going to implement this specific piece.
So just enough planning for the immediate next step.
Precisely. Just-in-time clarity.
Which means the meetings change purpose, too. They're not status reports anymore.
Not at all. They become working meetings.
Ah, okay. So people are actually doing stuff in the meetings.
Yes. They're collaborating, problem-solving, figuring things out together. This allows for emergent requirements needs that become clear as you go.
So you can adapt, If the market shifts or you learn something new about the user,
You can pivot easily. You're not locked into a 6-month-old plan. This is critical for handling volatility, changing priorities, and just understanding users better over time. Super important for AI innovation.
and this loops back to you, the listener, right? And think about why delaying that detailed commitment is good for you. If you fix requirements too early, without all the info, months later, the customer says, that's not actually what I need anymore.
Even if it's exactly what you discussed. Needs change.
Right. By postponing the detailed decisions, you hugely increase the odds of delivering what they actually need now. Plus, you can often get parts of the product out sooner, start generating value, start learning, quicker revenue capture, as they say.
Okay, so how do user stories enable all this? What are they fundamentally?
Think of a user story as a high-level summary, almost like an IOU. Yeah, like I owe you a conversation about this specific thing.
Yeah.
It's a placeholder for a deeper discussion. It's concise, but it points towards value.
So I'm not a massive requirements doc.
Definitely not. There's a standard format that helps keep them focused. As a type of user persona, I want to perform some action so that I get some benefit.
Okay, break that down.
Fine. That's the role or persona. Who benefits? For our AI tool, maybe as a busy doctor or as a concerned patient.
Got it. I want to.
That's the what. What action, what functionality needs to be built?
And so that's the crucial why. The benefit, the value, the outcome for that user. Why is this important to them?
Who, what, why. Simple but powerful. What about acceptance criteria? I hear that term too.
Good point. Acceptance criteria usually go alongside the story. They're separate but vital. They define how you know when the story is done, when that promise, that IOU, has been fulfilled.
So like a checklist for completion.
Sort of. For an AI feature, maybe the diagnosis suggestion must be 95% accurate on the test data set. It makes done concrete.
Okay. Now, I've also heard about the 3 C's for user stories. Card, conversation, confirmation.
Yes, that's a great way to understand them. First C, the card.
Like a literal index card.
Historically, yes, or a sticky note. The point is, it's small. It's not a long document. It's not a replacement for a big business requirements document, a BRD.
Right, those massive detailed things.
Exactly. The card is short, crisp. It just captures the who, what, and why, the desired outcome. It's a token for the real work.
Which brings us to the second C, conversation.
This is the heart of it. This is why Agile product management has so many workshops and collaborative meetings. They're working meetings.
Not like in waterfall project management where maybe one architect designs it all.
Precisely. Here, the whole implementation team gets involved in the conversation. They need that hands-on understanding to figure out how to build it.
What does that do for the team?
Oh, it brings huge clarity. It ensures everyone's on the same page, thinking about it the same way. It leads to more cohesive execution. Everyone gets a chance to contribute ideas, raise concerns.
So it's like a collective design process.
In many ways, yes. Iterative design discussions happening right there.
Okay, and the third C, confirmation.
This is the check-in, the agreement, the handshake. With stakeholders, with users, it's about active listening. Okay, we think this is what you need, and this is roughly how we're thinking of tackling it. Are we aligned?
Are we on the same page?
Exactly. Yes. Fantastic. That confirmation ensures everyone's got in before the detailed implementation really kicks off.
So the story itself is just the starting point.
Right. It provides the core who, what, why. But often you'll still have other documents or details attached or linked. Maybe regulatory specs for our AI tool or specific data requirements or API details. The story is the anchor for the conversation.
Let's talk benefits. This sounds like a lot more talking before building.
It is, but it's focused talking. And the benefits are huge because the team is involved in figuring it out. They're mentally building it in those conversations.
Like a virtual reality implementation in their minds?
Kind of. It fosters massive engagement, collaboration. The solution becomes their baby.
Not just an order they're taking.
Exactly. Contrast that with the old project management order taking. You just get told what to do. If it goes wrong, it's easy to point fingers. Well, they told me to build it that way.
Lack of ownership, lack of accountability.
Precisely. With user stories done well, that ownership leads directly to accountability. Pride when it works. And, importantly, a really responsive team when things don't work because they own it. They want to fix it.
It nurtures that collaboration and engagement management always says they want.
It really does. But sometimes the old processes actively worked against it, creating that hot potato game with accountability. It's ironic, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But Teams don't always love this immediately, do they?
No, definitely not. Especially teams used to that waterfall project management model. Just give me the specs. Let me put my head down and code.
Right. This can feel like, wait, now the managers aren't even figuring out what we need to do. We have to do their job too.
Yeah, that's a common initial reaction. They're just offloading work onto us.
So how do you overcome that?
The absolute key is respecting the how.
The implementation details.
Yes. The user story defines the who, what, and why, but how it gets built, that belongs to the team. That's their creation, their responsibility, especially with complex things like AI, where the how is often experimental.
So managers, product owners, they shouldn't dictate the technical solution.
They need to be very careful. Don't go too deep into the how. Don't help out too much, even with good intentions. Because if you dictate the how, you rob the team of that ownership, that chance to figure it out.
And they disengage again, back to order taking.
Exactly. Protect the team's ownership of the how.
Okay, another thing about user stories. They're meant to be small, right? Like slices of work.
Yes, that's crucial. Each story should represent a complete, potentially deployable piece of functionality, even if you don't release it straight away.
So for our AI tool, a story might be just showing one possible diagnosis, not the whole engine.
Perfect example. A thin slice of end-to-end value.
But splitting work like that sounds hard.
It is. It's genuinely an art form. It takes practice, creativity. Sometimes you redefine the story. Other times, and this can be controversial, you might do interim or even throwaway work.
Throwaway work. Management won't like that sound of that. Wasting time.
I know, it sounds bad, but think about it, especially with complex stuff like AI. If you wait for the perfect final solution, the customer waits maybe for months or years.
Okay.
But if you can deliver some value sooner with a simpler, maybe temporary solution, that throwaway piece, the customer starts benefiting now. You start learning now.
Give me an example.
Okay, building a complex AI recommendation engine. Your first story might just be a hard-coded list of popular items. It's not AI, it's temporary.
But it gets something on the screen.
Exactly. Users see recommendations, you validate the interface, maybe collect some basic data, all while the real AI engine is being built in later stories. It allows for that quicker revenue capture, quicker learning.
So it's not really wasted time.
Not if it delivers value sooner and reduces risk. The rule of thumb people often use is that a story should be maybe about 2 days worth of work for the team. Small. Delivering incremental value, even if it seems tiny.
Because all those tiny pieces add up.
They do. And user stories aren't set in stone either. They get refined as you go.
Through that product and service management process.
Right. You might split them, rewrite them, even delete them if they're no longer needed. That flexibility is key. It doesn't hurt to drop a small story. It hurts a lot to scrap a giant upfront project management plan.
Now let's connect this strongly to AI. You mentioned it a few times. Is this approach just nice for AI, or is it more fundamental?
I'd say for AI solutions, working this way is practically a requirement. It's not a luxury.
Why so critical?
Because of the inherent uncertainty. AI development is experimentation. You don't know exactly how the model will perform until you train it with real data. You don't know what ethical issues might emerge. Trying to use an old-school upfront requirements approach for AI, you'd be way too slow.
Competitors would beat you to it.
Absolutely. Think about training models. Each user's story could be about processing a new data set or trying a tweak to an algorithm. Rapid cycles, quick feedback. That's how you make progress when the path isn't clear. This just-in-time validation is crucial.
Interestingly, AI itself can actually help create user stories now, can't it?
It can, which is fascinating. AI tools can generate decent first drafts of user stories, which can definitely speed things up.
But caveat.
Big caveat, human involvement is still absolutely needed. Critical thinking, understanding the nuance, the real user context. AI is a helper, a very useful one, but not a replacement for the team's conversation and insight.
And you mentioned ethics. How does stories help there?
Because you can build those considerations right in. An ethical requirement or a safety check can be part of a story's acceptance criteria. The model must not show bias based on demographic data. As you learn more, you update the criteria or add new stories. It fits perfectly with the adaptive, iterative way AI needs to be developed.
So, circling back to those meetings, those workshops, people might resist them initially.
Feels like a waste of time, keeps me from my real work.
Yeah, but they're actually the place to have the arguments, right? To surface the problems before you build.
Exactly. Get the disagreements out, ask the hard questions, challenge assumptions, do it before you invest heavily in the execution. It's like having that debate in the virtual reality of the workshop.
So the actual building becomes smoother.
Much smoother. You've ironed out the kinks, gained confidence, anticipated problems. It dramatically reduces the chance of failure later. It's proactive problem solving.
Okay, so to wrap up, the shift to user stories in an agile product management world, what are the key takeaways?
Well, it really helps reduce those ivory tower mandates,
Yeah.
Their decisions come down from on high without team input. It anchors everything in collaboration and adaptiveness. And most importantly, it significantly boosts team engagement, that sense of ownership, accountability, and yeah, real pride in what they build together.
So here's a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. What complex challenge in your world, maybe a new product, a tricky service, an internal process, could benefit from this kind of just-in-time conversational approach? Where might that old upfront rigidity be holding you back? And if you want to explore more, especially about how cross-functional teams really make these user stories come alive by bringing all their different skills and perspectives together, definitely click the links in the description. There's a link to the source video we drew from with lots more detail.
Great point.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.